Whenever.
Hello, my name is Mackenzie Spicer.
Hello, my name is Rosaline Moreno.
Hi, my name is Shiree Gladden,
Hello, my name is Zora Bynum.
and we are going to be talking about the Universal Document of Human Rights, specifically the right to social services. So our first topic that we will be talking about is the right to social services and what it is. Our second topic will be the impact of social services. The third topic will be the controversy behind it. Our fourth topic will be our opinion. We have room for a Q&A, and then we have our credits at the end.
So, what is the right to social services? Really quick, just go ahead and put your answers in the comments based off of your own prior knowledge. So, the right to social services, in a nutshell, is basically a summary of different laws, programs, and entities that people have access to in order to enhance their own societal success. They can do this in different ways, but overall, the positives from it reaps the ability for people to stay out of poverty. That's one of the major targets of social services, keeping people out of poverty, which is also aligned with one of the examples, welfare, very, very well known. Also, there are different benefits for individuals and families, especially low income families, based off of social services. However, there are still some negative sides, including the fact that it's not distributed to everybody on an equal status, especially those who have disabilities or certain identities. Like for immigrants, it's hard for them to get equal access to welfare or child welfare. Moving on, effectiveness of social services, while it has so many different positives, the effectiveness of it is downgraded when the education of the right itself isn't well known in all of society. But that's basically the summary of the right to social services.
Okay. And how does the right to social services impact people's lives? You can write in the comments below how it impacts your life. Just let us know. Give us some feedback. And so, how does it affect the people? Well, with social services, many people depend on these services. They're given to you by the state, and the most common ones that people use are healthcare, the food stamps, disability acts, and federal housing. Those are some of the most popular ones right now. Why do people depend on these? Oftentimes, it's helpful for people who do not have the financial access to some of these things. And then a thing that helps is with people who are undocumented, it is also very helpful to getting like access to health care and accessing to buying food. It just makes it easier and less bit of a struggle. And then, like I said, majority of those that depend on it are often immigrants or low income families. Another example of this would be when COVID hit, people were more in a financial struggle. So those often the ability to get access to these resources also helped a lot in getting people to have more access to food and housing. And does this impact you? Oftentimes many people don't realize it. It's more around, it's also important to understand what you have access to and what they actually do.
So go ahead and put in the comments what you think the controversy behind social services is. There are two ends of the argument about how effective social services are. Many people feel that it does more harm than good, while others feel that it is a great option for families and children in need. The people who feel it does more harm than good feel that social services are invasive and base observations on biased ideals of the family system. On the other hand, for the people who feel that it does more good than harm, there was a study on the effects of social services on children who live in poverty. The children who had the most language mastery came from families that used the most services.
Our opinion of social services is a summary of all these things. Basically, we see that social services has more benefits than negative sides, especially when factoring in proper education. Personally, for all of us, we're all college students. So we think of it as looking at the EBT or SNAP access that we have, access to health insurance, access to different assistance in financial management, and also having a food pantry on campus. If it wasn't for the right to social services, we would be struggling in each of these areas.
So here we have a key events timeline. Starting with the early 20th century, it introduced dozens of social welfare acts, including the landmark Social Security Act of 1935. This expansion of social welfare programs covered housing, recreation, and cultural activities. This also included social insurance and child welfare, broadening the scope of government support. In the 1980s, programs were scaled back. Federal programs were cut under the Reagan administration, and this included many social welfare initiatives being reduced or eliminated. Social workers shifted focus to private sector solutions to address welfare challenges. There were also some emerging challenges for social workers in the 1980s, including HIV and AIDS, the crack cocaine epidemic, and rising homelessness and increasing incidents of domestic violence. In 1996, there was emphasis placed on non-government options. The passage of the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Welfare Reform Bill established time limits and eligibility conditions on federal cash assistance. This increased federal funding to support social work education and research in critical areas such as domestic violence, child welfare, mental health, and aging populations. In the early 2000s, we have seen that social work has become one of the largest professional groups in mental health and family services. Some key contributions in response to major events have been the attack of 9/11, Hurricane Katrina, and the 2008 recession. There was also the passage of the Mental Health Parity and Addiction Equity Act in 2008. This ensured equal insurance coverage for mental and physical health conditions. The integration of social media and new technology has also enabled social workers to address global issues more effectively. Today in 2024, we continue to see social work grow today. Thank you for listening. You guys can leave any of your questions or comments below in the chat.